I'm Ben Coulter, I'm Head of Sustainability at the London Legacy Development Corporation. Our job is to ensure the legacy of the London 2012 Olympic Games, and particularly the regeneration. Much of that is about the built environment, but the more people that move onto the park, and we've got an illustrious group of people that are moving on. We've got the Sadler's Wells, the V&A Museum, Smithsonian, BBC, a long list of people, and of course the residents that were there before and are there as part of the development. We need to serve them with the infrastructure that serves the smart sustainable district that we're building. So mobility is an area we need to focus on, and as a mayoral body we follow the Healthy Streets agenda. So building in the elements of mobility as a service is central to our remit over the next few years. Making recommendations suggests that we've cracked it, which we haven't. So I could say how not to win hearts and minds, and that is a phrase that goes down very well at TED Talks and well-produced conferences and TED Talks is move fast and break things. Our experience is the opposite of that. You need to take small incremental steps. We know our stakeholders very well, so I'd say listen to your stakeholders. If you're a producer of a product or service, know your market. But as a development corporation, we want to serve the people that are in the area that we're working in. So understand your stakeholders, which we do very carefully with two-way dialogue. Give them technologies that will provide a solution to issues rather than just foisting technology upon them. And learn from your experiences, which we have done. We've taken small steps from an early driverless bus. Everyone got terribly excited about the driverlessness of the driverless bus, but really the exciting things come with the connected element of it rather than the autonomous element. So yeah, learn from your experiences. Following those steps around listening to your stakeholders is important. And if you can show that you're providing a service rather than using the public as guinea pigs for a technical sandpit, which I think is very easy for people to feel like that, particularly when there's the classically bombastic phraseology of connected autonomous vehicles of we're going to come in here, we're going to disrupt everything. If you're living in that area, you don't want to hear that everything's going to be disrupted. You want to hear that a solution is being provided to an issue. So I think listening carefully and talking and explaining what you're doing is very important. From our experience so far, the learning process that people go on with connected autonomous vehicles is that everyone's hugely excited by the fact they're driverless. The autonomous bit is exciting. Very quickly they become bored of that, or we hope that they'll become bored of that. So our before and after experience of polling people's opinions before they had to go in a connected autonomous vehicle and after. Beforehand, everyone talks about after you go first, I'm terrified. And afterwards they say, oh, it's rather boring, it's a bit like being on the Docklands Light Railway, which is something which is connected and autonomous, which we have been riding around on for the last 30 years almost. So I think trying to show people that it's not, the driverlessness is less of it, but more the opportunity along with the connected element. I think the best setting and use for connected autonomous vehicles is around the geographical areas they can connect. So particularly for mobility as a service and public transport, there are geographical areas which are as yet poorly served by mobility as a service. That's geographically, and then I think from a societal perspective, there are elements of our society who have been fairly ill served by public transport. So the young, the older, people with medical needs, I think there's a really exciting element there around connected autonomous vehicles and how advanced mobility can serve them. So I think they're the ones who will be best served by the technology. In terms of is the cybersecurity ready, I'm not an engineer, so I just have to take it as I have to trust the engineers will get that side of things right, and that these vehicles will not be hacked and will not bash into each other. I think the more important question that's on my mind is society ready for potentially the imposition that these vehicles could cause? So we need to make sure that they're well deployed so that the society gets the benefits and not the disbenefits. And also a lot around privacy. So if you're an individual getting into an ostensibly free service, what sort of details, what sort of privacy do you divulge to the operator? So that is in the cybersecurity setting, but it's not to do with binary coding. But I think the privacy thing is a big one. I think catching up with technology, catching up with thinking. I think hearing updates on particularly how the OEMs, the manufacturers, have started to at least talk about, if not, we get to see how it is borne out in reality, mobility as a service and the temporal use of vehicles rather than ownership. And that I think is a development, and it's encouraging to hear. Connecting, It is informative, and I'm pretty optimistic. Hearing particularly the move towards mobility as a service is a message as a Mayor body we're very keen to hear. So yes, optimistic.